Right now at noon, winter storms have moved past Portland for now, but it's sticking around up in the Cascades. We have the latest on winter weather, plus Providence and its caregivers are back to the bargaining table, as many could lose health care benefits by the end of this month and later. It's confirmed the newest Southern resident orca is a girl. How she's doing and why her good health means so much. Your news at noon starts right now. While snow in the metro areas have mostly thawed out, we've still got heavy snowfall in the Cascades. There are some of the shots right here taken this morning at Government Camp. Brad Hill joined us now, calling it a weather impact alert for the Cascades area.
And obviously for the snowpack, this is terrific news. The winter storm warning still up in purple for the Cascades, including Mount Hood through 4 o'clock. This afternoon. We do have winter weather advisories for lighter snow amounts scattered out east in the white areas and a warning for parts of the blues. Here in the Cascades, without question, it looks like the heaviest of the snow has ended. It's starting to break more into just flurries up there, but the damage has been done in terms of some good snow amounts. So this particular storm going back the last 24 hours, 18 inches now of new snow at Timberline and Meadows, 14 at Ski Bowl, 7 at Bachelor. And look at the bases, including 142 inches on the ground at 6,000 feet up at Timberline, which is great. I mentioned the worst of the storm is over and temperatures, as expected, have warmed above freezing at pass level. It's now 34 degrees and ODOT has Highway 26 at Government Camp pretty much down to bare pavement. Santee Pass often the worst, and just now starting to see some ruts through the snow where the pavement is starting to improve, 31 degrees. Obviously, if you're traveling up in the high country this afternoon, check the latest conditions and be prepared, realizing you need chains and or traction tires. Government Camp, though, will continue to rise up to about 36 this afternoon. PM snow showers will be light. The snow levels holding at right about 3,500 feet. Here's the radar. We had steady rain this morning, still quite a bit on radar, including some heavy rain pockets, but we are becoming an increasingly scattered pattern. Temperature out at the reserve is 50 degrees at the golf course. Raindrops on the Lens up at Lewis River Golf Course in Woodland. Portland's at 51. We'll keep a few scattered showers, or decreasing showers, I should say, in the coming hours. We'll get up to about 53. That's your forecast for now.
Thank you, Rod. Hey, take a look at this. A large tree came down in Washington Park in southwest Portland. A viewer shared these photos with us. Portland Parks and Rec tell us that they got a call around 7:30 this morning and it's currently blocking a road. Arborists will now clear that mess up. The Parks Department says that they've cleared more than 20 tree-related emergencies on city property since the winter storm last week. On this President's Day, some mail services will be unavailable. USPS is closed for the holiday. FedEx has modified services, and that means you might be able to request on-call and drop box pickups in certain areas, but UPS is open today. Right now at noon, we are taking a live look from Portland City Hall at Terry Shrunk Plaza. People are gathering on this President's Day to again protest the executive actions of President Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Protests were set to begin at noon in Portland, Salem, and Vancouver. That's alongside dozens of protests happening across the country, organized by the 50501 movement. So this movement stands for 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. This marks the second nationwide protest by the group following an event held on February 5th. In the meantime, on Saturday, demonstrators held a Tesla takedown protest outside the Portland dealership on South McAdam, calling out the actions of company CEO Elon Musk. They tell us that they want to bring attention to Musk's actions within the federal government to reduce spending as part of the new Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE.
The only way we have of fighting back against this is coming out here and speaking about it, speaking up, but also letting everyone know that Tesla's stock is the foundation of his wealth. If we can stop boycott the sale of Tesla cars, if people sell Tesla stock, we can get rid of this guy.
Multiple Democratic attorney generals have challenged Musk's legal authority, and it's not just Portland seeing protests. They were also held in Boston, Austin, Washington, D.C., and Arlington, Texas. Providence and its 5,000 striking nurses are resuming negotiations this week as the strike enters its second month. The Oregon Nurses Association says the mediation will take place tomorrow and Wednesday, but earlier this month, nurses from all 8 Providence hospitals voted no on a tentative agreement. Last week, Providence sent a message to all its caregivers stating health care benefits will lapse for those striking by the end of the month. We talked to those on the picket lines saying this makes a tough situation even tougher.
Some are taking out loans, using their credit cards, and, with the health insurance benefits coming to an end, we're trying to figure out where we're going to go.
No, I'm not thinking about crossing the line. I'm going to be out here until we get it settled.
Providence says the suspension of benefits will apply to all of those who don't return to work, which would include St. Vincent physicians who approved their latest contract but are still striking in solidarity with St. Vincent nurses. Oregon parents, you have just 2 more days to make sure that your kids are up to date on vaccines. Under state law, children in preschool, Head Start, and public and private schools must have documentation showing that they have up to date and required immunizations. If they don't, they can be sent home from school. State data shows 14% of kindergartners did not complete all school required vaccines in 2024. Oregon also has the 4th highest percent of kindergartners with exemptions from vaccines nationwide. And health officials are concerned that some illnesses like measles and whooping cough may be on the rise.
We are seeing recurrence of illnesses that weren't necessarily eradicated, but the incidence had decreased quite a bit.
Beaverton and Tigard have free clinics open tomorrow and Wednesday. Care Oregon Boys and Girls Club in Southeast Portland will also offer free walk-in appointments Wednesday morning. A federal judge in Seattle temporarily blocked President Donald Trump's order banning gender-affirming care for those under 19. The order threatens to withhold federal funding from hospitals that don't comply. Washington Attorney General Nick Brown filed a lawsuit arguing it violates the Constitution by discriminating against transgender people. Oregon's Attorney General joined that lawsuit.
We got an important message here from this judge today about the threats that were being made by the President of the United States to criminalize health care.
So the Trump administration says this type of care includes puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and certain surgical procedures. The next hearing in this case is happening February 28th when the Attorney General office plans to ask for a preliminary injunction. And while the fights are underway on the domestic front, Trump administration officials arrived in the Middle East this morning to begin talks with Russia about an end to the war in Ukraine. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington.
Top Trump officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, arriving in Saudi Arabia overnight for negotiations to end Russia's war on Ukraine. After his own trip around the Daytona 500 track, President Trump pressed about Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's role in the peace talks.
He will be involved, yes.
Zelensky indicating he has not been invited to this week's U.S.-Russia meetings, telling NBC's Meet the Press he will not accept any deal made without Ukraine.
And do you feel like you have a seat at the table right now?
I not only count on it, I'm sure that we have to be there, otherwise it's not acceptable.
2 U.S. officials tell NBC News the plan is for separate meetings with each country before bringing Russia and Ukraine together. While here at home, NBC News has learned an IRS employee affiliated with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency is expected to seek access to an IRS system housing sensitive taxpayer information. An administration official says the employee has appropriate security clearances and is looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. Over the weekend, hundreds of federal workers laid off, from the Centers for Disease Control to the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA, according to department spokespeople. And at the Transportation Department, NBC News obtained a termination letter telling dozens of probationary workers they were fired for poor performance, despite most being rated exceptional. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
In Northeast Portland, members of the community gathered at Augustana Lutheran Church yesterday for a Sanctuary Sunday service. Hundreds of volunteers, along with faith and community leaders, were in attendance. The service featured freedom songs and included workshops on community defense, advocacy, and becoming a sanctuary congregation. The Reverend there declared the church a sanctuary congregation in 1996 and spoke about the concerns some have over deportations being carried out by the Trump administration.
People are living in fear tonight. These are our siblings in the state. They're vital members of our churches, our synagogues, our mosques, our communities. And so we have to stand together, because once you start going after one group, it's a bad slope it can go down.
Sanctuary Sundays will be held on the third Sunday of every month at Augustana Lutheran.